Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about violence in the West Bengal Panchayat elections at the grassroots level. An editorial that goes with polity related to elections. You may not get as a passage, but generally you should have some sort of awareness related to elections. That will help in the exam. And besides the editorial analysis, today you're going to work on spot the errors, jumble, idioms, words and meanings. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. There are some important words. The first one, alarm bells. It has two different meanings. One meaning it goes with alarm bell. It goes with related to sleep and waking up. But as an idiom, alarm bells means a bell rung as a warning or danger or warning of danger. Alarm bells are ringing means what? There is some sort of sign warning of danger. Grassroots, this goes with polity. If you read the newspapers regularly, you come across the word grassroots. Grassroot development, a typical combination. Part of speech noun, the ordinary people in a society, movement, or organization. Grassroots means at the lowest level. That's what it means. High stakes. This goes with business context usually. It may go with politics as well. High stakes are involved. Part of speech adjective involving the possible loss of a large amount of money. If the stakes are very high, you are likely to lose a large amount of money. High stakes used as an adjective. Numb, we have got a few times. Part of speech adjective. The letter B is silent, unable to feel anything. Peak winter, you go to a hill station or you go to the Himalayas, your fingers become numb, means you don't feel the sensation. Run up to, we have got a few times. The final period of time before an important event, before elections, a stage, we use the expression run up to panchayat elections. Apprehension, we have come across many a time. I use regularly. Numb fingers, that's right. Apprehension, don't have apprehensions, usually we say. Worry about the future or a fear that something unpleasant is going to happen. You worry about the future, you think something bad is going to happen. That is nothing but an apprehension. Apprehensions are not good. You don't get anything out of apprehensions. Mar is a verb, marred, part of speech verb. To spoil something, making it less good or less enjoyable. Mar the party, mar the elections means what? To spoil and making it less good or less enjoyable. Deploy, I'm sure you will be able to answer. We have got so many times. Part of speech, it, deployment is a noun. Here, deploy is a verb. What does it mean? To move soldiers or equipment to a place where they can be used when they are needed. You can also think deploy means to place in position. Usually it goes with whenever there is a turmoil, a disturbance, a chaotic situation in a particular city or town, the police are deployed, the army personnel are deployed. These are the combinations we use. Requisitioning. Be careful with this word. Requisition sounds like a noun because it ends in tion, but it is a verb. To officially request or take something. Actually, it means to officially request. Haphazard manner, a typical combination. Part of speech adjective, not having an obvious order or plan. Haphazard means not planned. You can also think of the word zigzag. You try to do things in a zigzag manner, haphazard manner. That means no plan, no order. Concede, we have got a few times, part of speech verb, to admit often unwillingly that something is true. Let us go to the next one. Wanting, part of speech adjective, not having something or wanting something means lack of something, lacking, part of speech adjective. Scarce, we have got so many times, part of speech adjective, not easy to find or get. You don't have something in plenty. Scarce resources, scarce funds. Debilitating, an important word, though we have got a few times. Part of speech adjective, making someone or something physically weak. Debilitating effect means what? Make someone or something physically weak. Chaos, an important word we have got so many times. A state of total confusion with no order. And what is the adjective form? Chaotic. Chaotic situation. Wake up call, idiomatic expression. A shocking event that changes the way many people think. It is like an eye opener, another idiomatic expression. Let us go to the editorial and see how it starts and what exactly it has got to say. Alarm bells, a bell rung as a warning of danger. Why should it start with alarm bells, a negative expression? It is related to the violence in the West Bengal panchayat elections. The very word violence indicates something negative. Based on that violence, alarm bells. But what is the main idea of this editorial? Grassroots politics is now a high stakes game of violence in West Bengal. Usually, when it comes to elections, we have elections at the national level, at the regional level, and this one at the local level. Usually, local level or grassroots level elections are not taken very seriously. They are important, but today it looks like in the state of West Bengal, grassroots politics is now a high stakes game. High stakes means there's so much to lose or gain. Usually it goes with business context, it goes with money. What is the literal meaning of high stakes? It means involving the possible loss of a large amount of money. We also say stakes are very high, high stakes. In this context, it goes with power, politics. High stakes game of violence in West Bengal. It's all about violence in West Bengal and violence because of what? Grassroots level elections or panchayat elections. The extent of violence in the West Bengal panchayat elections, though numbing we have to say here, we cannot make letter B silent, was not totally unexpected. Editorial says this violence in the West Bengal panchayat elections, though shocking, another meaning of the word numb. When do you feel numb? When you come across a shocking incident, you cannot think. Then also you can use the word numb. Numb goes with body parts physically. It also goes with your mental state. You're shocked. You cannot think. Then also you can say, I was numb when I heard the shocking news. Here, though numbing was not totally unexpected, past was not unexpected, not totally unexpected. Why? It has to justify. In all, 36 people lost their lives in the violence that spread across several districts of the state for almost a month in the run up to the elections. Run up, I remember we have got a few times. It is the stage or the period before the actual elections. A run up to the elections. What exactly does it mean? The final period of time before an important event. What is the important event over here? Local elections. So the run up to the elections, how many people died? 36 people lost their lives in the violence that spread across several districts of the state. Not concentrated, spread across many districts of the state. And for how long? For almost a month in the run up to the elections. 18 people died on the day of elections on July 8th. This is the reason why they had to write the editorial. This is a stimulus. On the day of election, how many people died? 18 people died on the day of elections on July 8th. Opposition parties had expressed their apprehension that the elections would be marred by violence if proper steps were not taken. Ruling party, opposition parties. Opposition parties had expressed their apprehension. Apprehension means what? A feeling, a negative feeling that something bad may happen, or you get worried, you feel anxious about the future, and their apprehension related to what? That the elections would be marred. Mar means to spoil something. In this context, elections by violence would be spoiled by violence if proper steps were not taken. Here, this is whenever you come across the word if, you have to think of conditionals. Here, this is would be mud, were not taken, proper steps were not taken. Past, past. This is hypothetical condition. We use would in place of will and past in place of present tense. They had an apprehension. What was the apprehension? The elections would be marred by violence if proper steps were not taken. Despite, again, you got to become alert. And in many exams they've given, now our students know despite of is not the correct combination. It's a common error. In spite of, despite, two prepositions. They have the same function. They express a contrast. Despite of, wrong, wrong combination. And in spite of should be written as three separate words. Ah, that's right. Between the two, despite is a little more formal than in spite of. Even that you have to recollect. Despite several interventions by the Calcutta High Court, intervene, get involved to find a solution. Intervention, noun. Despite several interventions by the Calcutta High Court, which directed the deployment of central forces at all polling booths, the West Bengal State Election Commission failed on several counts. Here you see something in violet. It is an important phrase. The High Court, Calcutta High Court, directed the deployment of central forces at all polling booths. Whenever there are elections, usually the central forces, if they send some trouble, the central forces are deployed. Deploy means what? To place in position so that they can handle any eventuality. Imagine elections time there's some sort of problem and that results in a chaotic situation. There should be personnel, police personnel, and central forces to handle that chaotic situation. Obviously, the Calcutta High Court directed the deployment of central forces at all polling booths. In spite of that, the West Bengal State Election Commission failed on several counts. Failed on several counts. That's an important expression. What does it mean? They did not rise to the occasion. They failed miserably on several counts. One count means one aspect. On several counts, so many aspects, definitely not acceptable, objectively speaking. What proved costly? When you neglect something, it may prove costly. Means what? It may make a negative impact. What proved costly was the State Election Commission's decision to conduct the huge exercise of three-tier rural elections across 61,636 polling booths on a single day. There's a huge number. How many polling booths involved? 61,636 polling booths on a single day. Obviously, that is a huge exercise. That proved costly. That means it resulted in violence and resulted in loss of lives. What proved costly was the State Election Commission's decision to conduct. They shouldn't have done it on the same day. They should have spread out the elections on different days. That would have been better. Polling booths on a single day, which is an uphill task. Its reluctance to seek central forces. One more problem. Its reluctance. Reluctant means what? Unwilling to do something. Its reluctance to seek central forces, take the help of central forces, and the subsequent delay in requisitioning forces when directed by the High Court. There are three reasons why it proved to be costly. One, conducted on the same day large number of polling booths. Second, reluctance to take the help of central forces. Third, subsequent delay. Delay related to requesting forces when directed by the High Court. The High Court directed the deployment of the forces. Based on that, the state government had to request the center, but they delayed that also. Subsequent delay in requisitioning, an important word. It means what? To officially request. But you may ask, so why is it important? Requisition. It sounds like a noun, but what part of speech is it? It is a verb. That way it is very important. Do remember, this is the second time we have got this word. The central forces arrived late and were deployed in a haphazard manner. and because of this delay in requisitioning forces when directed by the High Court resulted in negative consequences. The central forces arrived late, one problem, and were deployed in a haphazard manner. Haphazard means what? Not no proper order, not systematic. An obvious order is missing, then we say haphazard. You can also think of zigzag manner. In fighting, what are the reasons for this violence? Now the editorial touches other dimensions. In fighting within the party, infighting in the ruling Trinamool Congress has also been a major contributor to the violence. One, clashes between the ruling party and the opposition party members, obvious reason. But one more reason for this violence, the editorial says, infighting in the ruling Trinamool Congress, infighting within the party. This has also been a major contributor, has also been. It is in present perfect active voice. Here we have used a helping verb be as a main verb in the past participle form, has been a major contributor to the violence. Besides this, in addition to this, in places where the opposition could put up some resistance, there was bitter fighting between the Trinamool Congress on the one side and the Congress, the Communist Party of India, Marxist, and the Bharatiya Janata Party on the other. One reason for violence, internal fighting, fighting within the party. Another reason, clashes between the ruling party and the opposition parties. What are the parties on the other side? On the one side, the ruling party. On the other side, opposition parties like the Congress, the Communist Party, Marxist, and also BJP. The Trinamool Congress's dominance on the ground means at the grassroots level, which remained unquestioned for a decade 10 years. For 10 years, they had the upper hand, which remained unquestioned for a decade, is now facing resistance in several places. Means what? For 10 years, this Mamata Banerjee's government, Trinamool Congress, was a dominant force. But now slowly it is losing its upper hand and the dominance at several places after being at the top for 10 years, for a decade. More than half of those killed in the violence during the elections were supporters of the ruling party. Usually, what happens whenever there are clashes before or at the time of the elections, the members of the opposition parties they get killed. Here it is quite opposite. More than half of those killed in the violence during the elections were supporters of the ruling party. Usually, supporters of the ruling party don't die. Members of opposition parties die. In the Panchayat polls in 2018, the Trinamool Congress had won about 34% seats without any contest. That means no election, no contest as such, no candidate from the opposition parties, and it was like a cakewalk. 34%. That is highly, I can say, considerable. 34%, not something small, without any contest. This time round, it was about 12%. It has come down drastically. Where is 34%? Where is 12%? The control of panchayats helps in political dominance at the local level and controlling the rural economy. Why are the stakes high? Now, this sentence gives the answer. The stakes are very high. Why? The control of panchayats helps in political dominance at the local level or grassroots level and controlling the rural economy. Also, the cadres, party members, party workers who provide the muscle, means they provide the strength, have a direct stake in the outcome. Party workers, they have a direct stake in the outcome. They can play a substantial role. Elections in West Bengal are rarely peaceful, and with 2 lakh candidates in the fray, an important phrase. At the time of elections, we use this. 2 lakh candidates in the fray means 2 lakh candidates are going to contest. The local functionaries did not want to concede any ground. Functionaries again in this context goes with the parties. Did not want to concede any ground. Concede means what? To admit defeat, often unwillingly. In this context, it means losing the seats at the grassroots level. While the State Election Commission was found wanting, negative stand taken by the editorial about the State Election Commission. While the State Election Commission was found wanting means what? Lacking something. The political leadership will also have to take a lot of the blame. Who should be blamed for this? In the fray means in the competition, in the contest. I have already explained. That's a phrase. 22 lakh candidates in the fray means they are competing, they are contesting, they are participating in elections. Political leadership will also have to take a lot of the blame for allowing the elections to local bodies turn into a matter of life and death. Local body elections, as I said, the stakes in the past they would take casually. Now the stakes are very high, and they consider local elections or elections at the grassroots level something a matter of life and death. There are also some structural reasons that make grassroots politics so competitive and violent in West Bengal. There are some other reasons related to structural reasons, perhaps the format that goes with the elections. How does the editorial end? With high unemployment and scarce activity in the formal sector, resulting in extreme competition for political posts, in turn leading to extraction and corruption, the state is caught in a debilitating cycle. So many negative factors: high unemployment, scarce activity in the formal sector. Scarce means not enough, not easy to find or get in the formal sector, that resulting in extreme competition for political posts at the local level, in turn leading to extraction and corruption. The state is caught in a debilitating cycle. Debilitating, an important word. What does it mean? Making someone or something physically weak. The violence and the chaos, a confused state. The violence and the chaos on Saturday should act as a wake up call for the state's political class. Wake up call, an eye opener, a shocking event that changes the way many people think. Based on these two factors, one, the violence, the other, chaotic situation or chaos on Saturday, the political class should take these incidents as what? A wake up call. And they have to change the mindset. It ends on that particular note. Today, no questions except but for the tone of the editorial. What is the tone of the editorial? The tone of the editorial is critical and concerned. Obviously, when there is a loss of life, so many people die at the time of elections, there is some sort of concern. The editorial highlights the extent of violence in the West Bengal Panchayat elections and expresses disappointment with the State Election Commission's handling of the situation. Three factors to point out the State Election Commission. Obviously, the editorial is not happy about that. That's all about this editorial. Let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. The first five questions go with error location. Read today, the questions are very easy. You should get all the five correct. Please go to question number one, read the sentence and try to spot the error. There are many insurance disputes nowadays because of most people do not fully understand the terms and conditions of their policies. Yes, from scarce you get scarcity. Tenuous, weak, good. Remove off. Who is this? There are many insurance disputes nowadays because here we don't have to use of because most people do not fully understand. Then you may ask, so where do we use of? Because of rain, because of something. When you mention the noun, then you have to use a preposition of. But if you use a clause, then you don't have to use a preposition of. Because of the delay, because of rain, because of why did I start at 7:30 instead of 7? Because of a technical glitch, reason, noun. Yeah, an easy one, and many students have got it right. Please go to question number 2. Some genuine issues exist with the newly adopted system and needs to be examined seriously. This is also an easy question in my opinion, should not be that difficult to answer. That's right, Venkatesh Rama takes noun exactly. Please mention the question number, mention the part. Huh. Anusha says second question need not needs. What is the reason? Some genuine issues here. It is a phrase and the keyword is what issues. That is the plural form. Exist verb with the newly adopted system. With what? The newly adopted system. This is also a phrase. And one more verb need to be examined seriously. Because the subject is in the plural form, sentence is in present tense, affirmative form, we don't have to add s or es to the verb. Need to be examined seriously. Whether or not to confront them about their role in the matter is a decision which is yet to take. Whether or not to confront them about their role in the matter is a decision which is yet to take. This is also an easy one. Whether or not, a standard expression, whether or not to go, whether or not to do, to confront them about their role in the matter is a decision which is yet to take or yet to be taken. Very good. Tapa has got it right. Which is yet to is not, take is not correct, which is yet to be taken, yet to come, yet to be taken, yet to complete, yet to be completed. This is in passive voice, yet to be taken. We have to use the passive form. Go to question, passive voice, that's right, Naidu. Go to question number 4. At present, China is the world's leader manufacturer of environment friendly products or eco friendly products such as electric cars and bicycles. This is also an easy question based on word forms, but let's see how you guys are going to handle. At present, the time phrase, China is the world's leader manufacturer. There's a problem here. It is not leader, it should be leading manufacturer. What is the right word? Leading manufacturer. He is the leading manufacturer. It's a fact. Of eco friendly products. Generally, we say eco friendly products such as electric cars and bicycles. Exactly. Bharatpur is transforming into India's most fastest growing bird sanctuary, attracting thousands of rare migratory birds from Europe and Siberia. A lengthy sentence, but one reading you should be able to spot the error. Not a big deal. Bharatpur is transforming into what? India's most fastest. Most goes with the superlative form, fastest also the superlative form. Yes, Venkatesh Rama. At present, now, nowadays, these days, they go with present continuous. But in English, we do have exceptions. Do remember. Here, we don't have to use the word most. India's fastest growing bird sanctuary. Not fast. No, no, no. Here, we don't have to use the word most. That is redundancy. Bharatpur is transforming into India's fastest growing, changing into India's fastest growing bird sanctuary. That's enough. There is an error. Sometimes students ask, sir, superlative form, we have to use a definite article the. It is not there. Do remember, rules are there. Any language is not that simple. Exceptions we always come across. In this context, you cannot say Bharatpur is transforming into India's the fastest growing. We don't have to use the. India's fastest growing bird sanctuary. Nothing wrong with that. I hope you can make out I had to reduce the font size because of the text. We have six parts. Try to go through the parts, lengthy parts, carefully. Try to get the correct order. Any para jumble, take elimination approach first and try to get the topic sentence. The sentence with the main idea is the first sentence. One study of data entry workers in India found those, perhaps another found corporate bosses fear that fully remote. There's also a possibility across the world. But generally, when you come across the world, you come across a country, you have to start with the world. That is obviously systematic. No, F is not the first one. Papa has got it right. D is the first one. Yes, Hema also. Across the world, plans for remote working by employers fall short of what workers want. D is the first one. Only two students have got D, the first one. Across the world, always see when you look at the parts, this parajumble talks about world, talks about India. You have to start with the world. Across the world, plans for remote working by employers fall short of what workers want, according to WFH research, a group that includes Stanford University and the IFO Institute, a German think tank. After that, there is a comma. You should be able to. DF is correct, and next one also easy to get. A German think tank which has tracked the sentiment of full-time workers with at least a secondary education in 34 countries. So what is the next one? German think tank which has tracked DFE1 group. Yes, DFE1 group. After that, that is one sentence in fact, divided into three parts. This is from an international magazine, not from the Hindu International magazine. What is the fourth one? Fourth one a little tricky, but if you look at the parts carefully, you should get no Ganesh, that is not right. Fourth one is corporate bosses fear that fully remote work dents productivity, a worry reinforced by a slew of recent research. Research continuity should be there. It talks about research. Based on that, here, corporate bosses fear something. Fourth one is B. Why do they fear? One study of data entry workers in India found those toiling from home to be 18% less productive than their office frequenting peers. A is the next one. And the last one is easy. Another found. One study found something, another found something else. Another found that employees at a big Asian IT firm were 19% less productive at home than they had been in the office. So, what is the last one here? C. BAC1 group. But B, you got to be careful. After that, it is easy. AC, one study, another study. They form a pair. Those who have got all the six, wonderful, highly appreciable. DFE, BSc. Let us go to questions based on idioms. These idioms have given many a time, especially SBI. Two of these, not all, three. Three are very important, and two are rather easy. I have used one of those today's session. I have already used, should not be that difficult. Achilles heel, they have given so many times. An important idiomatic expression, do remember, Achilles heel has been given many a time, especially SBI. Weak or vulnerable spot in one's nature or character. Someone is very strong, physically, character wise, but there's one weakness. Because of that weakness, it may result in his downfall. That is known as Achilles wheel, Achilles heel. A weak or vulnerable spot. You have to attend a few sessions, and on and off I give the tips how to deal with a parajumble, and based on that you will be able to get an idea how to deal with a parajumble. You will be able to handle or get the correct. It will take some time. A new student takes some time. You have to wait. Have the patience. D is the answer. Black leg, an important one, not easy to guess based on the words. Black leg means one who continues to work when others are on strike. On strike, remember, it takes a preposition on. Second one, C. Cut the Gordian knot. Even this has been given many a time. SBI means what? Solve a very difficult solution or problem by quick, bold, drastic action. Answer is E. Do away with, get rid of, we have got many a time. Dispense with. Eye opener, I have used in today's session. Something which makes one understand a situation or truth clearly. When you realize something, you say, it was an eye opener. Has anyone got all the five correct? That's wonderful. Do remember, these are very important. Let us go to words you got yesterday. Yesterday, I told very clearly we try to be regular to the extent possible. That is the reason why I'm doing this. And sometimes we may not be able to. Various factors, different reasons. One, it could be technical issue. Second, it could be my tight schedule. Third, it could be a family emergency or a personal emergency. Fourth, it could be some other reason. Once or twice I don't take. Don't request me, sir, please be regular, please be regular. I told clearly yesterday, and after the session, two students, sir, please be regular. Who is not regular here? I am regular, but it doesn't mean that 24 into 7 I have to take. We are not machines here. Do understand and be practical. Sometimes some important work I may not take. You have to accept it. Is the message clear? Please respond. I don't know whether those two students are here or not. After the session, they say, sir, please be regular. What does it mean? Please don't do that. That is from my side. Fanciful means what? Over imaginative or realistic. Fanciful. Conviction. Yes, obviously you have to understand, and that will be appreciated. A person who is guilty of crime will be convicted. Punishment given to a guilty person. Opposite, acquitted. Guilty, innocent. Guilty, conviction. Innocent, acquittal. Horrific. Horrible, we use regularly. Horrific, rarely. It goes with everyday effective English. Horrible goes with everyday English. Means what? Horrific. Are you guys still with the second one? How come? Horrific, no one has answered. Something very bad, horrific. Decline has two meanings. One meaning, decline means to go down in quality, standards, number. And I will try to do that. Who is this Priya? Sure, that will be useful. I would love to do that. I did once or twice. Decline here to refuse a different meaning altogether. Purported, an important word. What does it mean? Appears to be true but may or may not be true. Bad, shocking, rejected. I gave the link yesterday. Who is this Priya? Yeah, good that you asked me. All of you listen very carefully. Earlier, I would say after the session, go to the description of the video and download the PDF. Now, I would like to tell, please listen very carefully. I will provide the PDF link in the Telegram. Join the Telegram group. Yesterday, also, I provided the link in the Telegram group. After the session, go to the Telegram group and there you see the link. Download the PDF. Yesterday, also, I provided. Is that clear? Cite means to quote. That's right. Trial, the entire procedure that happens in the court, hearing, witnesses, judgment, all we use trial. Next one, hearings, proceedings, you can say that as well. Good. Unanimously, without any opposition, all people agree, same stand they take. Thank you. Unanimous decision, no opposition whatsoever. Grave has two different meanings. One meaning, graveyard, where the person is buried. But grave mistake, grave problem means a very serious problem. Turpitude, an important word. Consensus, that's right. Turpitude, an important word. What does it mean? No one has answered the 10th one. Wicked or evil behavior. Yes. Wicked behavior, evil behavior, depraved behavior. Deprived is one word. Deprived of the fundamental rights means they don't have access to they don't have the fundamental rights. But depraved, bad, evil, wicked. Endorse goes with celebrities. They endorse products and services. Means what? Publicly support a particular product or a service. We use the word endorse. Endorsed by, supported, openly supported. Wicked behavior, evil behavior, depraved behavior. Depraved. Praved. Remember that word. Evil, wicked. But remember the third word you got yesterday, depraved. Endorse means what? Support, approve publicly. Aggrieved, angry because of unfair treatment, unhappy or angry because of unfair treatment. Brand endorser, disconcerting, uncomfortable, worried, something that makes you uncomfortable or worried, then you say disconcerting. What is the last word? Astounding means shocking, surprising, shocking, annoy, vex, unhappy. Surprising or shocking to a great extent. Shocking, that word you have to include. Only surprising a lot, we use the word amazing. Amazing has a positive connotation. Astounding, somewhere negative connotation because of the word shocking. That's all for today. Hope you guys have got enriched. And do remember, spend some time on important words. Otherwise, you will forget after some time. Good night to all of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. 1 or 2 days, I'm not sure about the time slot, but I'm going to take in the evening. Could be 7, could be 7:30. But after a couple of days, I'll be able to fix the time slot We'll continue with that. Thank you very much.